It's time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and apparently I got some sun yesterday mowing my lawn. So today we're gonna give away. Well, we're gonna announce the giveaway of this Macintosh Plus. But before we do that, we got to put it back together. So we're gonna be putting together a Macintosh Plus, doing some tweaking, hopefully doing some overclocking. We'll try it. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I don't think we're going to do it on this one. We're going to use one of my other boards that we have going. Before we get started on that, I wanted to show you this. So this is the back and the front from the PowerMac 7100 that I got a few weeks ago. Let's show you what they looked like. No, not that. This one. Look how orange these things were. Look how orange they were. They were so disgusting. They were disgusting. And now this is where we're at now. So they've been doing some retrobrighting. These look way better. So we'll probably be putting together a PowerMac 7100 at some point very soon, but not this week. We got other work to do this week, so we'll set them aside. Excuse me for one moment. Set that next to its chassis. All right. So there's two analog boards here. Take a look at these analog boards while I say hi to folks in the chat. We got Charlie's Computer, the Toiletist, Chris Angelis, Garth Beagle, Jack68K, Alan Gracia, Lazy Blue Goat, Gut Bomb, Francois Rival, Tara's Aviation and other stuff, I DIY, Bacchus is here, Ian Scott's here. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for stopping by. So Chris Angel says, love me a Macintosh Plus. Disgusting is good with we. So yeah, let's look at the Macintosh Plus chassis. You can still see it. It's nice and beige. And let's look at what it used to look like. So there we go. That's what this guy used to look like. The front actually wasn't that bad on this thing. The back of this one was like almost pink. It was so discolored. The back is still undergoing some work. Actually, the back looks pretty good. The side of the back still needs a little bit of work. But you can see it was real gross. When we took this thing apart, it was like full of sand or something. Yeah, you can see the back in comparison to the side. The chassis had a bunch of rust and stuff on it. Chassis was kind of gross. It looked like maybe a little water had gotten into it along with the sand. I think they took it to the beach or something. So yeah, this was this Macintosh Plus. I triaged this thing a couple weeks ago. And so yeah, this is cleaned up pretty darn nicely. It's still nice and beige. And so this is the one we're going to be giving away. I have a beige mouse to go along with it. This is going to need a little bit of retro brighting before we can give it away. So yeah, this is it. So we're going to do some stuff. So it's no longer disgusting anymore. Toiletist says, was it even rusted shut and sounding like a maraca? So it did kind of sound like a maraca a little bit, because where's my bag of screws for this guy? And that's actually one of the things we're going to be working on here first on this analog board. When you pick up a Plus and it sounds like a maraca, you most likely are having an issue either with this little piece of metal falling off the floppy drive, or the battery terminals falling off. So here you can see on our analog board we have one battery terminal, but the other one is missing, and it had fallen around. And this is why you don't power on some rando compact Mac when you buy them. You need to take a look inside and figure out what's rattling around. And so we're going to take care of this. This is my parts analog board. When I got this, someone had actually hardwired the yoke connector but with solder because it had burned up. So this thing, I've just been pulling parts off. The speaker went to gut bomb. So we're going to use parts of this battery holder to fix this battery holder. DIY says, I want the original grow state. If you want an original grow state, I have some other compact Macs. Mr. Tech Gadget says, I hate YouTube. I knew the stream had started. It's all right. It's all right. They don't do that notification thing. All right. Sorry if I missed anything. I80386SX is here. How's it going? And DIY said, did you figure out the audio mapping on the NAD? So sort of. I played with it a bit this morning, and basically it started frustrating me real bad. I think I know the main issue is that the actual headphone socket is broken. So I ordered some of those from China, and we'll revisit that when those get here. But it also feels like for certain video or certain audio inputs, the like left and right channels are messed up. So I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually. All right, so the first thing I'm doing here is I'm desoldering the battery terminals from this analog board. Starbucks Tech's here. How's it going? Alright, so that's a little loose. That's a little bit loose. We got these things heat staked in right here, so we're gonna have to undo those heat stakes a little bit. Oh, they actually, oh, look at that. There was a little wedge in there put in between the sides. I hadn't seen that before. Wonder if that one's like that too. Ooh. Oh yeah, that one's like that too. Huh, I'd never noticed that. So they got these little wedges in the middle of the heat stakes that help hold everything together. That's fancy. Oh yeah, I don't have a Hacko. I have the original Soldapult. That is what we use around here most often. Alright, come on out of there, you little wedge. I like you, little wedge. That is a useful little device. Okay, so we got our third one now. So this will make this much less destructive. I did one of these before, and it was, I swear it was solid because I drilled a hole to put a little screw in to hold these things tight. So it must be a different revision or something. That knife looks like it might be sharp enough to do some serious damage to your fingers. Nah. Come on out of there, you little wedge. There we go. Oh yeah. Gutbomb has a little device for the Mac Plus. I guess that would be the same as a 128 and 512 analog board. So you can put your CR2032 in here instead of these big honkin' batteries. And also space for the the video out thing that Ron designed. So yeah, that would have been a fun device to add to this one. Maybe there's still time. We'll see. We got a month. Maybe I'll see you before then. Okay, so we got one of these off. You can see this one has one battery terminal. This was all that was left of this battery terminal. So let's take our other one apart. The original solder pult. This thing works good, especially for giant honkin' solder joints like this. It does get clogged up a little bit sometimes. Gotta be careful about keeping it. Oh, there you go. Get these little divots every once in a while stuck to the very tip of it. All right, so while I'm doing this, let's talk about the giveaway. So basically, when this stream is over, the video will, the archive of the stream will show up as a regular video on YouTube. At that point, you can leave a comment, and that's how you enter the giveaway. This giveaway is open to anyone that can participate in giveaways. Apparently there are some locations in the world where you can't legally participate in those. There's no purchase to enter, any of that kind of crap. And yeah, so in about a month, I think I said in the description there, all the official rules are in the description. I think I said that we'll do the drawing during my, like, June 1st or something like that, live stream, whenever the first Saturday in June is, since this is like the first Saturday in May. Okay, there we go. That one's out. So this one is almost good, but if we take a look at there, that's actually cracked. So that one's not great. Luckily, that one's the good one on here, so we're gonna take this one out of here and transfer it over to the other guy. The Toiletiest Toiletist asks, does the comment have to be coherent? I would never expect you to provide anything incredibly coherent, so comment away however you feel fit. How's it going, JVHS? Okay, so these are held on with a little bit of glue, but they should, like, slide off. The problem is that they're, see how that's kind of bent up? You gotta, like, push it down and then push it out that way. There we go. And they use a blue glue on this thing, or at least it seems like everyone I've taken apart has a blue glue, which is also kind of confusing because then you're like, oh, this looks like a lot of corrosion. But in reality, that's like corrosion and blue glue. So oh, Gutbomb no longer has a Mac Plus. Well, guess what, Gutbomb? You could win this undisgusting Mac Plus. I should have called it the undisgusting Mac Plus. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, you did win the Commodore 64. I forgot about that. Okay. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Gonna use a little bit of a wire brush to clean that up a little bit. Alright, so which one's my good analog board? Or, well, I don't actually know that this analog board is any good. But this is the right analog board for this particular computer. So that's the one we're going to stick in here. Yeah, this is the right one. It has a speaker. It has a connector. Okay, so we'll put this back on. You can't just take this thing off because it is one of the screws that sort of hold the chassis in. I guess you could totally get rid of it, but it's here. Let's try to make it look like it was somewhat original. Okay, so that's in place. Now I'll fill up that giant thing with solder. We're going to use Chungus solder. Good morning, Cal. Welcome. Yeah, this used to be a spot where you could put a SCSI port in. Actually, as I'm looking at these things, let's take a look at these under the microscope. these look kind of interesting now that I kind of see them. Where's my microscope? Here. There we go. So that's just it looks like a bug, but it's a piece of the burnt plastic. This looks like a real thing. And that one looks like a real thing. But that actually looks like a zip tie that someone just crammed in there. No, it's not a tick. So maybe some of these were real, and some of these are actually zip ties. That's kind of funny. Yeah, that is definitely a little piece of zip tie. I guess if it works, it works. We'll put the real wedges in this machine. Oh, maybe the curved is the end of the zip tie. Oh, you know, I didn't even plan this one to be jank, but here we go. We gotta talking about getting rid of the jank. No, we're not getting rid of the jank. We're gonna put that jank right back in there. All right. That is a good point, Bacchus. Let's put that in there. I guess we should put one in. Put one of the zip ties in there, because this is the big bed bench, We gotta have some jank, so let's cram that zip tie in there. And we'll use the wedge one for the other one here. Apple was running low, so they pulled a Commodore. That's a good point. Okay, so that's that bit done. This is now functional. All right, here's another thing that we got to look at. So the big thing with the 512, 128, cracked solder joints on the analog board. And one of the first things you should always do during your visual inspection is look at the yoke connector. And what do we see there? That, I guess we'll go more center. This pin is darker than the rest. So what that means is that this one was overheating. And so that means that that solder joint is most likely cracked. So let's stick that under the microscope and take a look at that. Let's see if we can actually get our microscope in focus today. Oh, there we go. So it's definitely kind of wonky. If we look at the other joints here, so this is one of the big places, so this is where the main power or main logic board connector is. This one's been reflowed at some point in this computer's life. I did not do this. We should also look at the flyback transformer. These all look pretty good. Maybe that one. Yeah, we'll get these again. But this actually looks pretty good overall. Yeah, we'll do 3 of those on there. But that yoke connector, where did that yoke connector go? There it is. Yeah, let's take care of these real quick. They mostly look fine, but so we'll alternate here. Sorry, I was just seeing if I missed anything in the chat. Jack 68K, do you have a Rigol scope? Because I have one, and I hate its interface software. I think we're going to need to use it later. I'm not sure if you're actually going to be able to see anything. Okay, so that's those. Let's do these 3 I'm not real happy with. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so we got them. All right, so now since we're under here looking at solder joints, let's take a look at the analog board, because so where the board connects to the analog board, where the logic board connects to the analog board, is another location where we can have cracked solder joints. And yep, so I don't know how well this is gonna come across. Let's try to get this in focus a little better. Oh, sorry for the focus issues. Here we go. I think this will work a little better now. Okay, can anyone see where the cracked solder joints are there? Charlie's computer says, do I need a microscope to replace the ICs on my Mac Plus's analog board? No, they're pretty big. So you typically don't need you don't need a microscope for that kind of thing. I like to use a microscope because I'm old and I can't see anything. Third from right, second from left. Yep, that's exactly what I'm seeing. So we'll come through and redo all those real quick. Sorry, it's hard to show this very clearly, but that second one, that's also, you see how thick that trace is right there? That's the 12 volt. So that's going to give you issues if you don't take care of that. While we're here, I'll just do all of them. Since it looks like nobody's touched these. On the analog board, it looks like people have touched some of those over the years. And really, I guess you don't have to take all the old solder off. It's just something I like to do, make sure that the solder is nice and uniform on the joint. Check out the Tagawala DL170. Okay, I'll look it up after the stream. Okay. Hey, all things DG, how's it going? Are we reflowing things for posterity? Yeah, this one actually does. You can see the third one from the right here is actually still cracked, and the second one from the left was cracked. Always a good idea to do this for your Mac Plus. Yeah, this guy is definitely cracked. Oh, and I forgot to do that last one. Okay. And I guess now that we're still here on our analog board, we may as well do our diode mod. Gotta find my diodes. Hey, Trina's here. Oh geez. Oh geez, we've got an avalanche of tantalum caps. Okay, so if we look on the analog or the logic board down here, it's a spot for a diode for providing termination power. So we are going to do that so that we can use blue SCSI more easily. For this, we're actually going to use solder braid. I find solder braid works best for this kind of thing. Make sure you clean your tip off real well. I put a little bit of flux on there, and we got our solder braid. Garth Beagle, thank you so much. That was, you shouldn't do that. That's too much. Thank you, Garth. That's wild, man. Garth Beagle with the super chat. Look at how nice that came out. Just a little flux on there. Nice clean tip. Nice fresh solder braid. Cleans those holes out real nice. Do I need a diode for the SCSI power mod, or can I bridge the connection with a resistor or normal wire? So the thing is, it depends what you're going to use your system for. If you are just using blue SCSI, then yeah, you can just put on a diode. But if there's ever a chance that you're actually going to put a real SCSI drive in there, then you should get a real diode and put it in there. Just because it's a safety thing to prevent back feed of voltage into the logic board. Okay, so here's our little diode. It's a 1N4001, and we're gonna just bend that like that, bend that like that. Gonna match our little arrow and our little arrow. Oh, we're not even in screen. Jeez, why would you super chat to a guy that can't even get his computer on screen? Okay, slide that in there like that. And that diode's going to be nice and happy. And oh, sorry. You could just put in a jumper wire. Yeah, not a diode if you're just using blue SCSI. Oh, I missed. Just gonna check real quick, make sure that's sitting nice. Yeah, if you're going to use regular SCSI, you definitely want to make sure to use a real diode in there. They're just a few cents, so it's worth doing. I bought, I could show you here in a second. Let's go back to here. Put our microscope aside. So I bought one of these off of eBay or Amazon or something. It was like $10, and it's already saved me more than that in annoyance to go try to find diodes whenever I've needed them for different projects. So they don't hurt to have around. All right, so I think that's all the soldering we're going to need to do today. So let's dump a bunch of isopropanol on this thing. Clean it up. And I guess we'll dump it on here too. get double use out of that isopropanol. Yeah, it's just a 1N4001 diode. You could probably use something else, but it's fine. Yeah, Jack68K says 11 cents plus $6.99 shipping. That's why I wound up getting the whole box, because it was free shipping. It was just so stupid that I was like, yeah, no, this just makes sense. All right, I'm gonna set that over to dry for a second. Here's our chassis. Gonna give our analog board some toothbrush action. That should go there. This can go over here now. Set this spare parts analog board aside. We're done with you for today, I hope. And that battery holder. Okay. So, there's our chassis. Okay, hello. 1 second. I probably should have chosen a better color for an old t-shirt to use today, but whatever. Does that mess with people's faces too much? Is this too much to use this color? Should I find another one? So when I put these back together, I like to set them on a t-shirt so it's less likely to mess things up. Scratch your nicely cleaned up system. Okay, so here's all our screws. I was very organized. I kept all my Mac Plus screws together for this system. Gonna need our T15. You can see that all of these are long boys. Normally they're shorter here, but maybe that's for the classic. All right. Actually, hopefully the camera makes it look better. It's not perfect. This is just a spray bomb. This is like a Krylon all-in-one paint. I mean, it looks 1,000% better than it did. So just a reminder that that's kind of what it looked like before. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what we were dealing with before. It was just kind of just gross and gross. So yeah, I got that all cleaned off. Gave it a paint and primer all-in-one paint job. It looks fine. All right. Okay, so screw backwards, lefty-loosey, until you feel it go into its hole. And I'm not screwing them in all the way. I'm gonna wait until we get all of our screws in. backwards clicked in. I think it makes it a little jazzier. Have this color, little metal flake action. Okay, so there should be 5 of these that hold the frame onto the front. Now that they're all in place, I'm going to screw them all in tight. Kind of do like a circle pattern, start with that one down here, and then come around. All right, so now we have our analog board. Actually, no. First thing we're going to do is get our screen. And yeah, you can see here, that's a little baked. We might wind up replacing this. Screen is overall in decent shape. There is a little bit of burn-in you can see there. Put our screen in first. Oh yeah, I just remembered too. What was it? Well, it was before VCF East. I don't know time, so time's all messed up for me. I restored that Mac Classic 2, and Alan Grassi bought that from me at VCF East. And so all of that money went to the Trevor Project, which is an awesome group that does mental health for LGBTQ kids. And so I thought, in honor of Mental Health Month, that's where that money's gonna go. Let's check out the Trevor Project. They are good people. I try to keep these centered, but it's always very difficult. Can always adjust these after the fact too, if you don't get it perfect. Okay, and with this we can connect this, our grounding strap. Thought I cleaned this. Maybe I didn't. It's always a good idea to clean off your CRT before you stick it back inside of a system. Don't want to totally clean all that stuff off, but want to get some of it off. And there's like a grease around there kind of thing, a sticky kind of goo. Never get rid of all that goo. That's good goo. Clean that guy off. Gonna shoot a little deoxit inside of this port just in case, and then I'm gonna try to close up that connector inside there a little bit, just in case it's getting a little loose. Try to make sure it holds a little bit tighter. All right, now it's time for our analog board. This one already has its little foil clippy thingy on there. Line these up, line that up there. So we should have a total of either, yeah, it looks like we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can tell which one had your screw in it because the little star washer will bite into the analog board a little bit. This one had it here, it did not have it there, which I think I've seen more. And we should have 1, 2, 3, yeah. And so the one that goes in the back is typically this shorter one. So yeah, there's our 3 that hold that on. And what I'm doing here is since I painted this thing, I'm just using the screw to scratch up the paint a little bit before we connect this, so that when we put this on there, we'll have a better ground. The screw will help it ground, but a little bit more is good. Okay, we can turn this. All things DG says, make sure to put it back together, but forget to attach the logic board analog cable. Yeah, no, that's always fun. Yeah, actually, luckily the back isn't ready, so we're not going to button it up today, unfortunately. But I'm sure I'll forget to connect something. That's pretty much par for the course with how I work here at the Big Bad Bench. Okay, so that should be pretty good. Got this tied up. Got that tied up. Now we got to make sure we have all of our connections here. Don't want to forget those. That one's there. That one's there. That one's there. Get that little seal going action there. All right, what are we missing? We are missing the main power connector, or the main analog logic board / each other connectors. Okay. And throw some RAM in this guy. Again, these plastic ones are kind of a pain, but the black ones seem to be better than most. So did test all these in another system this morning, so if we have issues, hopefully it's not our RAM that's the problem. Hopefully we won't have issues. Oh, okay, yeah, that's off. Gonna slide that little guy in there like that. Slide that guy in there like that. That should be real nice and happy. Connect up our main connector. All right, yeah, let's get stupid and put a blue SCSI and a mouse on this beast and assume that it's gonna work. Walk in there with some major confidence. Blue SCSI. Ooh. Okay. I don't know. I really need to set up a split screen. Oh, and I DIY is going to be mad because I haven't set up the replacement for Potato Cam yet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Got chime. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Guess what I forgot to do? Oh, dang it. I knew I was going to forget that. It's booting. You can't see it real good because it's so freaking down. It's not very bright. Jack68K says, I've never done that. All right, let's see. Got 4 megs of RAM, so this thing is good. And the screen is somewhat close. All right, let's take this stupid thing apart again. And then let's play with trying to overclock or, well, you'll see my stratagem here. Alter clock. Oh, I'm gonna switch up our camera. Nope, that. Let's see if we can get a Mac Plus running at 16 megahertz. Garth says it's easy, just take it all apart again. Yeah, I really want to play with the RGB to HDMI thing, Ron's little adapter box thing. That would be fun. So yeah, I didn't even disconnect everything. And it goes to its home. I knew I was forgetting something there. Oh, I'm so annoyed with myself. Hey, K-Mac. How's it going? Mr. Tech Gadget says, yeah, you should add a fan for a Plus anyway. Yeah, actually, after VCF East, it basically convinced me that we should be adding fans to Mac Pluses because I had mine running all day and I corrupted 2 blue SCSI images, which is never something I've done. And it was because my Mac Plus was all capped up and the top of that thing was getting hot. Oh, jeez, look, I screwed up again. Oh, I screwed up again. All right, that should be enough now. Gotta get that inside of those little tabs. Come on, John, get your brain working. I think my brain got cooked by the sun yesterday. See how red my head is? Toiletus says, do you ever say I screwed up again when doing biology? And all the time. It's part of the fun of doing biology, is screwing up. Alright, now let's see. Let's see what our brightness is at here. Oh yeah, Gutbaum mentioned tenderized by the concussions. Yeah, that's probably not hurting things. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Potato cam. Alright, so the camera is adjusting some brightness for me. So we can probably go a little higher on this one. That's pretty good, but we might adjust it. Looks pretty good. Turn the light back on. Yeah, that's pretty bright. I don't think we'll really need to adjust that. Cool. What else do we need to do on this one? Oh, you know what we should do is check our voltages. Yes. All right. Let's go back to here and let's check our voltages. I'm gonna prop this up a little so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Need something to prop it up with that is not conductive. So we're going to use a memory board for a Mac Classic and put it on top of our insulated pliers there. There we go. Nope. There we go. Perfect. That definitely will not fall and kill me. Oh yeah, I'm doing also the thing that I said you should never do. I didn't put the plastic back on the side of this thing. You should always put the plastic back on the side of that thing before you go poking around inside there. Or else you shock the hell out of yourself. We've been over this before. Oh. Don't do what BBB does. Exactly. I really hate actually sticking my hand in here while this is going. So I think that one, yeah, that one should be the battery voltage. So that should be around 4.5. Come on, thing. Yeah, there we go. Let me show you the pinout for this thing. So we're starting towards the right side there. So we're going to go 4.5 to battery, then 12, then negative, well, then 12, then ground, then negative 12, then ground, then plus 5. So that's what we're looking at here when we're checking our voltages. Trina's got the 911 ready to go on the phone. Okay. So we're at 11.75. That's a little low. We can adjust up. So that one should be a ground. Good. That one should be negative 12. That's good. Should be a ground. We're good. And that one's 5. So we can adjust our voltage here a little bit. Let's got to remember which one. If you had KMAC's little floppy port connector, you would be able to do this very easily. And so here we're gonna adjust that one. Gonna slide that over there like that. And we're gonna need a flathead. You should never do this with a metal screwdriver. And so we're making a little adjustments here. Very small adjustments. Okay, 4.98 is pretty good. DIY says it's best to install the protective thing while the system is running. There we go, we're at 11.98, so that thing looks really nice. Okay, we got real nice voltages here. After I put the floppy in, I'm going to double check the voltage because the floppy does do a little bit of a draw. Yes. And actually, I think when I put this in, so the reason I don't have this right now is because of these gross foam things. These actually have little holes where you can put the little plastic standoffs, and I'm gonna swap those out for the plastic standoffs because I have some extras. All right, let's go back to there. Okay, so let's shut this thing down. All right, so there's our little restored plus. Oh, we got to put the Apple logo back on. That's the most important part of this whole process. Gotta go find my black RTV. Take that off of there. Take that off of there. Okay, I'm not ready for this yet. So I like to use black RTV. One, because you can tell like when you get it everywhere. But also it's just like a silicone glue. So here's our little Apple logo. And I'm just putting on just a tiny little dot right in the middle of that Apple logo. And then I'm gonna commence to getting this all over my hands and touching 1,000 things with it. Okay, so you can see there's just a little dab there in the middle. But the silicone makes it easy if you need to get this thing back off. So there you go, we're almost done. This floppy drive needs to be serviced, but I've done that before on stream, so go back and look at one of my Mac Plus videos where I did that. But yeah, this guy looks pretty good. What do you think? Nice little painted chassis, looking snazzy. All right, so I'm not gonna futz with this one right now because this thing is a original pristine Mac Plus, and if we're gonna overclock, I think I'm gonna stick to futzing with one that I've already sort of futzed with a bit, and we'll even switch chassis. Gut Bomb says jank. No, see, that's the thing. I'm giving this away. There can't be any jank. This needs to to be nice and unjanky. Okay. Yeah, no jank in the giveaway. Alright, so what do we have here? So this is a Mac Plus board that I worked on previously. This one was part of me like trying to diagnose a few bad boards, and I wound up unsoldering all the pals and stuff and socketing them as part of the diagnosis. And so even our clock crystal here is on a socket, which is going to be useful here in a second. Here is our 68,000 that is installed in a socket, and that makes futzing with it a little easier. All right, so let's make sure this thing still boots up. And let's connect the mouse. And yeah, we are using my janky, use some nails to connect two of these. So we're bringing the jank back here right now. Bringing the jank back. Here's this. I do have this one taped on here, so you know, I am being very safe right now. Okay, this needs to go over next to that guy because that belongs with him. Some electric. While I'm in here, I just want to double check the voltages. I think I remember the voltages on this one being awesome. Yeah, 11.93, 11.94. That's good. Okay, are we booting up? Let's check Potato Cam. We are good. Except for the fact that Potato Cam cannot focus properly on this screen. All right, so this is good. That screen actually looks really nice. All right, let's shut this down. Okay, so now let's go back to here. So let's pull out the original CPU. So even though this is in a socket, it is the original CPU right now. We did do the experiments before where we put a 68010 in here, and it seemed to basically work fine. Didn't really do anything in terms of performance, but you know, it was fine. So if we look at this CPU, 68000 P8, yeah, this was part of that 68010 machine. See that little P8 at the end? What do we have here? P16, although the writing is crooked. What do you say we get some acetone and actually see if this is real or not? Some acetone on there. Oh. Apparently Toshiba did not make 68,000s. I don't know who did. That came right off of there. Oh, that's epic. Oh, eBay. Well, we are going to run this thing and actually see if it works. We're going to send it. Okay. So getting pins like this into these sockets is always kind of a nightmare. Yeah, I got a whole tube of those things because it was like the shipping made more sense. I don't even think those came from China. Oh, you jerk. Jack 68K says you can sand things down and repaint them anywhere. That is true, Jack. Oh, that's great. I really need to get one of those things that help you bend the chips right. Get the legs all lined up properly. I'm gonna take this off. There we go. I think we're finally all lined up properly now. I'm gonna be real careful with these. It is very easy to bend when you have chips this long with this many pins. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We got nothing. I got scammed. Let's try another one. Ian Scott says, time to Dremel the chip apart to see if there's anything in it. Yeah. It's just a bunch of pins. Good thing I bought a whole tube of them. Maybe we'll find one that actually works. Do this thing again. Unplugged. Okay, they're all in on that side. Now they're all out of that side. I'm glad I didn't unsolder the CPU out of the pristine board. Stick one of these in there. Oh, come on. There we go. I think we're all lined up right now. Just giving them all a quick inspection before I send it home. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the round hole sockets either. It's really hard to find this particular type of socket. The round ones were the only ones I was able to find. Because it's a 2mm pitch. Or no, actually it's not a 2mm pitch. Oh, you can find the 2mm pitch ones. It's harder to find the 2.4mm pitch sockets. That's what I ran into, yeah. All right, let's try CPU number 2. What's happening over here? Look at that. It's like Atari. It's trying to do something. Oh. Wow. I like that they each have their own behavior. Did something for a little while. It's not doing anything anymore. That is wild. That actually, oh, no. It's almost doing things. That is funny. Let's do a nope. It did reset. That's weird. Yeah, it's seated properly. Ah, this is sad. All right, let's try one more. Let's try one more. Vic the Vicar says, "What have you missed?" Oh, you missed some stuff. We put together a Mac Plus very nicely, and now we're torturing a different Mac Plus with some fake CPUs. Let's try one more fake CPU. Yeah, Callan says, I wouldn't think there's many chips with that form factor. I wonder what they did. I wonder too. Alright, so while I do this, reminder that to just enter the drawing for the, oh, this one has some schmutz on it. To enter the drawing for the Mac Plus, just leave a comment under today's video. The system will come with a mouse and keyboard. I don't know exactly which keyboard yet. I need to see what I have. It might be a 128 keyboard, like the shorter one. And I'll figure out whoever the winner is, and we'll decide like if you want the internal SCSI mod done to it or not, or if you want to leave it original. But it'll also come with 4 megs of RAM. It's been all retrobrighted. It'll be nice and pretty, so it'll be a nice little machine. You can't leave a comment here. You have to wait until after the video and leave a comment once the VOD is available. I paid for all those cards, Trina. It's not like it was a favor. Well, I mean, it was nice that you had them. So yeah, I'll give you the winner also some sort of blue SCSI to go along with your system, so that you can use it. It'll depend. Like if you just don't want the internal SCSI mod, I'll give you an external one. But yeah, just leave a comment, and in about a month I'll do a drawing live on stream. Okay. Yeah, international entries are allowed. It's just that I will pay for up to $50 shipping. You'll be responsible for any amount above that. All right, let's try this CPU. 3, 2, 1. It's kind of interesting that they're all doing something different. Reset? No, it knows there's something wrong. It's held it. It's held. That is funny. Okay, try once more here. Just squished on it a little bit. This one isn't farting. That is really cool. Really cool, eBay. Yeah, we'll have to look up these chips. So we could also just do a real quick check, put the original back in there just to prove that I didn't futz anything up. So my strategy was going to be just running the clock signal right to the clock pin on the CPU, because basically the system divides up. Oh, you can't see what I'm pointing at. So basically the clock signal comes out, I think it's that corner, and it goes through some stuff and it gets divided down. So the clock is 15.66 megahertz and the CPU runs at 7 point whatever. But I was going to run, if we had 16 megahertz CPUs, then I was going to run the clock crystal right to there and see what happened. but apparently it won't even run at 8 megahertz. Okay, let's make sure we didn't futz anything up. Oh, we did futz something up. Oh my gosh. What did we futz up? So not even the original is gonna work anymore. Ugh. Oh, there we go. CPU just wasn't seated properly. Hey, Mac 84 is here. Oh, not that. Potato cam. We're booting. So Jack68K says just stick a 50 megahertz crystal in there. So there was one of my streams, we actually did play around with it, and it was a lot of fun because we stuck crystals in. I forget how fast the crystals were. Yeah, we went up to 17.5 megahertz. So our CPU was actually running at 8.5, or no, what would that be? 8.25 megahertz. But you could hear the difference in the sound tone. Like everything was running faster, and the screen refresh was different. And so you can add a new crystal. It just messes up all the clocks everywhere on these things. So that's why I was hoping that if we could keep the regular clock and futz with it that way, just send the 16 megahertz to the CPU and see if it was able to interact with the system by itself. But yeah, so anyway, that was sort of fun. I am not giving up on this yet. I am not giving up on this. Well, I mean, technically it was more than that because the original CPU runs at 7.8, so it's almost like a 0.5 megahertz overclock. Anyway, let's review. Go aside, Angry Mac Plus. Here we go. All right, so here's our Mac Plus that we're giving away. Look how pretty. Okay, so that's all good to go. So basically just leave a comment after today's stream, and you will be entered. That's all it takes to enter. And anyone can enter around the world. It's just that you will need to pay for shipping any amount over $50. What else? What other rules do we have? I should go look at like the description of my video. No purchase necessary, only open to countries where giveaways are allowed, and that I can currently ship. Only one entry per person. Winner will be randomly selected on June 1st, 2024 during my stream from everyone that has commented on this video. And yeah, cool. All right, so what do you say we end this monstrosity of a stream? Yeah, wow. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry we didn't get the overclock to work. I'm sorry that I got scammed with eBay chips that the label comes off very easily. That was a fun find. We'll be back at it next week. We'll probably put together that Power Mac 7100, and maybe I'll do some work on this, futz with that a little bit more. What else? I think that's it. Toiletist says you only use us for comments. Yes, basically. Make sure to check out. I don't know if Tech Ambrosia is streaming tonight or not, but if she is, always check out our streams. They're awesome. Steve did a good stream this week. I need to go watch the rest of it, but at the start of it was real good. To go watch that. and check out Dave's Vintage Apple Tech tomorrow. All right. Oh, Trina and Ian Scott says that Tech Ambrosia is streaming tonight. Oh, hopefully she's finishing off that box of video cards. That was a lot of fun. All right, all. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you, and have a lovely week. Good night, Mac Plus.